They applied it the 4th of July.
Did you say that?
We gotta vote on it.
Oh,
That's all the discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried.
Oh, you're gonna hand it to me?
This one? Oh, all of it.
So this is basically asking to approve the 2024 McChrysip invoice for $193,249. And so that's our liability carrier that covers everything that we have here.
Move to approve.
Support.
It's been moved and approved to moved and supported to approve the Chris contract for $193,249. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. This next one's so kind of hard to swallow.
Well, this is where we gotta look at, we're going through doing our audit and everything, and we gotta look at what work we did on primaries and locals, and by Act 51, we can transfer 50% of our MTF from primary to local on any given year. So we always do some. This year it happens to be $1,726,837.23. And that will balance everything back out to where it really should be.
And that's for 2023.
Correct.
Yes.
I would move we authorize the clerk to transfer the $1,726,837.23 to primary and lower road fund.
Support.
Any more discussion? If not, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. How did I skip? Oh, that's through that. I was looking for the contract.
The whole page.
Authorized to post manager's position.
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion? If not, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Now, this is where I should have stayed home. Township contracts, I'm just gonna read the townships.
So, yeah, you can read
Yeah, it's gonna be Cambria, Hillsdale, Jefferson, Scipio, Wheatland, Adams, and Pittsburgh. I don't think there's another page, is there?
No.
Thank goodness. Okay.
I've got one quick comment to make on these,
Sure.
actually two. If you notice, the one is highlighted.
She took it off.
Oh, that was not there anymore? Okay. I'm working off of an old.
The one that didn't
I
have
didn't
the,
give you a new one.
Don't
So,
worry about it. But the other thing is all the asterisk ones, other than the normal limestone or gravel patching or road stabilization, are all contingent on us being able to schedule them. You know, we can approve them, but we gotta be able to schedule them in. Some may be pushed to next year, depending on how many we get at the end.
Sure.
I'm circling that.
did I get a motion
Yeah,
to approve?
yeah.
And second?
Gary moved and I thought Mike
Yeah, I
seconded.
Okay, then move second to approve township contracts. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Okay, we'll just hand out some groups out.
Okay.
Everybody gets their pens ready.
I got an extra one just in case one does.
Pens or contracts?
Pen? There's a lot in here.
This one here is hard to
That Wheatland one?
see. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all hard to see.
This is sticky.
Well, they spend a half hour doing that.
Yep.
Want to look at some pictures?
Sure.
Okay.
There you go. Not gonna miss much. Get his little map, he has.
So which one's that?
This is on top of Ridge Drive at the driveway. You can see the groove. And
That right there shows.
Yeah.
So you might as well put your sign on there.
That's simply a greater.
yeah.
Is that the one that we
Well,
did all
switch
that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys did a lot of work.
There's some on it's really
Okay.
thin.
Yeah, I see that.
Yes, that doesn't need to be there. That's the rocks.
Yep.
Uh,
Look over on this side. You see there, it's almost ready to go into that ditch there, but I'm just, the road is just falling. But anyhow,
I think I'm gonna have to go out there and just,
Do you want him to email those pictures? Where you.
well, these, I'm okay with it, the ones with the stone.
Yeah.
If we can email them, and then I'll use them as,
yep.
hey, you gotta,
Mm-hmm.
or we're gonna come in and roll in your ditch, I guess. I hate to be,
Yeah.
but I think that's the only way to,
Where do I email it? Really, just a,
So,
just a,
you know how, okay.
Amy?
what about you, what you got?
It's earlier.
I think this is it, I think.
I was just like,
Oh,
No, it's
no,
not, is it?
that's his cell phone.
since you asked.
There's some there.
Can we
I
email it
mentioned
to him?
Rick,
I'm not gonna
He's one of the
send it.
trustees.
Oh, you don't have to, let's go to his contact first.
he's on the warpath.
Let's cancel first and go just directly to your contact.
Feels that,
And add
the
an email
outreach.
to it?
Yeah.
And go
the
that
road
way?
commission was told,
Okay.
would actually, whatever he was told, but it never happened.
You know, I could have just searched like you
He
did.
also he had a question.
I'm not an Apple
He was
person
gonna
at
talk
all.
to somebody about, maybe you were about the Bun Road.
You had it.
Oh.
And
That
he,
doesn't ring a bell, but,
so this week,
okay.
because of, he's a little tough to talk to.
We get a few of those.
Hey, I got some questions. We were talking about that smooth, I didn't catch the name of it, smooth patch that's got some sand in it for the aggregate.
Mhm.
And it makes it really smooth so the kids can skate in it. How big of an area are you selling it really with that possibly?
That'll really depend on
So you should be
the,
able to.
the cost, just like for something
You should be able
per
to
yard.
select to email it to him.
And
Yeah,
so,
Okay.
Yes, I'll click on email.
it's not cheap, but it's
There you go.
a very
Sometimes
good.
I make myself look really bad when
Back
it
in
comes
the
to Apple
nineteen seventies, do you
Cause I have.
remember Hillsdale Road in the seventies?
I'm an Android.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
was
wait till I get home, because I'm not connected.
So was I.
Wi-Fi.
But there was something wrong with the mix and the car or something's coming on the top, and when it rained, it was dangerous,
Glenn's
it was slippery.
talking about Bun
There's
Road.
a lot of
You know
people
where
that
that's
died
at?
because of obstruction on a rainy day.
I'll have to go through all my notes again.
Spun out, just
They're really
cruising
low
along from town, right next door, spun
I
out,
just brought
smacked
up
a tree and
my
killed her.
phone and thinking,
Right
how
there,
much?
I drove my bicycle.
But what-
Yes,
what's wrong with
it's
this?
between
You see, here's
Bankers
Bun
and
Road.
the banker turns off.
On a high-speed road, I think way down to Leary.
There's nothing.
Okay, so they're paying-
Well, like I said, for high-speed roads, it may not be
Okay,
cost
by Baker.
effective,
That's what I'm
because
thinking
this
is by
is Bun.
you
Baker.
wouldn't get the,
Banker.
you wouldn't get the benefit of it on high-speed roads. People driving down a 55-mile-an-hour road isn't gonna notice
Yeah.
the difference in a regular chip seal and that.
Right there's Banker.
But
Okay, so
on the
it's
low-speed
fun,
roads,
so it's right up in here
subdivisions
somewhere
and
Stuff like that'd be fun for the kids to skate.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking, if I can remember that.
Yeah, but I'd
that's-
be
really
Leary.
scary.
No, it's-
They did redo a little bit.
it
more,
is
but
quite,
it's like,
because you're putting it on the, chip seal, so you already got those stones for the chip seal and giving you grit. And it's, it won't fill up
That's
past
how
those
organized
stones.
you are.
But it also has
I need
sand
one
in
of
it.
those
And
maps.
so it adds grit too.
You know where you get
you
one?
know, So it actually,
No, no,
it
without
probably
it
improves
being
the.
Yeah.
the
That's what I-
traction.
I can see that when it's dry, but it's a little bit of rain and, you know, 1/8 water, it's gonna be.
I never got one, I will be.
I don't know.
No, you did too.
They do a lot of studies on that, but again, I probably wouldn't want to do it on a high-speed road because one, they're probably wider, and
Why is he up
they
there?
just cost
He must live in
too
this.
much to not get a big benefit.
No.
Okay, I just thought I'd throw that out
He's
there.
got those houses.
I'll probably try to pick one that maybe is a,
Yeah, here, Mike.
I don't know, maybe like a 35, 45 mile an hour road. Do a section of it just so people can see this is what you get.
Yeah, something like that, I think that'd be a good idea. to do something like
Our
that.
road for fun start.
Yeah, even the vendor says,
No funds out here.
I wouldn't really put it on
That's why I
a
keep one
road, because like I said, you don't get all that.
Yes, I know that.
It might look pretty and everything, but
Started zigzagging, I always turn the wrong way.
that's about it. You know, you're paying a lot of money.
When I go to the.
A regular fog seal, like I said, is $1 something a square yard, this is 4 something a square yard.
So you could.
So it's significantly more,
10 bonds
Trying
on
to
top.
break
a fog seal pretty much lasts a year.
So you sign your
You're really
name
painting
on
the
the
road.
machine.
When I make a run.
This
like
would
that,
last
I'm gonna start
6
here.
or 7 years,
10 of them.
you know, and actually really lock that stone
Speeded
in,
it up.
because you're filling all the
I
voids.
have a thing in,
You know, and
like,
they wanna pitch it, so I'll get them to do it fairly cheap for a sample, and then we'll see from there.
Then some new process came along and they eliminated that. Didn't make me cry.
We get a lot of complaints for
It's like signing
subdivisions when you do a chip seal in there.
Cause you'd like to
It's
be
just
nice
not,
and
it's
you should
just
have
not a
a
good
permanent
business
record
for
for
us.
those
There's gotta be a
kids,
playground too.
Yeah.
but sign.
You wear out with
50
hands.
of
So
them.
that was,
Oh my God.
it doesn't make it perfectly smooth like pavement, but it'll smooth it out where
But I'm like, no, I don't want.
regular little wheels and all that.
I hardly ever sign my name
oh,
the same
my
twice.
picture
Hey,
is-
Right.
I always gotta remind myself not to my big thing.
Century, yeah. Well, I always did it in Pittsburgh, so I just go.
We work on Saturdays, we
Yeah.
do all these, things in the morning,
Go by and get
on
cash.
work orders,
I need
that's my
cash.
main one, so I can get it on.
Something else, bring to your attention, you talked about that squash culture.
No, that's territorial, I believe.
Like him down there, he signed.
Does that
Yeah,
allow
that's what Diamond does.
wildlife to cross there without getting stuck in a business?
Well,
document.
It allows like fish and turtles, not like wildlife.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant.
You ever see a
Yes,
name up on the
yes.
mirror?
And that's really the purpose in that, is when you squash it, it makes more of a bottom surface. So it like flattens it out to, instead of it was all round,
I got
yeah,
one
it'd
fund
be
that
deeper,
writes
but
me
you'd have
checks.
very little.
And the
So the
signature,
corrugations are
you
a
just go,
little bit less. So
Oh, yeah.
It's the same corrugation, it's really that tube, and then they actually physically
yeah,
just
he
squash
said,
it.
that's the signature
So
that
they use machines and it takes it from being round and it goes like that, so it makes it wider and not as tall. So we don't need the tall, we don't need 6 foot of flow, we need like 9 foot of flow, 2 foot. That's all.
I've noticed that wildlife
Type thing.
going across the roads is more a lot less than what they used to. Maybe back in the 70s, 80s.
Oh.
It's legit, they don't have that road, also there'll be 1,000 cars on the road. And they try to navigate through them so they can kill somebody, you know, same thing with turtles.
I beat her the
Now there's a lot less of them, now I don't know if it's because of the culverts, or because there's less of them, or what.
You got the message.
I think it's a little of both.
And
I think there's less of them, but if they got an easier way to cross,
Because he
then,
knows that.
and that's kind of why Eagle is such a stickler, is they're trying to make it to where
Old age.
the wildlife has an easier time to get through, and the fish can go up and spawn, or, you know, the mussels are there, or.
All had our time.
I'm all for that, and I'd like to see their more organic too.
Don't
You
buy
know,
a
like,
white rock.
saying, like, saying, causes
public
Parkinson's.
comment.
I've got it.
Oh, you guys
Got
love.
it. It's in my-
Yeah, where's you?
Wife's got it, brother-in-law's got it down the road. We live right in the middle of farmland, sometimes they're spraying those fields, I can smell it, and I take a hit in the car and leave, you know,
You get-
Do you have anything under?
too late now.
Just a
It's,
comment.
You're done signing contracts.
I forgot about that.
So my comment is, and I've made this at other times too,
Oh, okay.
you know, and I thought about it when Glenn was here, I decided not to chime in then, but,
Sometimes they gotta be put in the
you know, get some of this work accomplished,
Oh, yeah.
we may need to consider contracting out some.
I don't do it on there,
I read it every day.
If there's money,
I can't.
Yes.
that's the other constraint.
So,
The money is the biggest.
Well, another thing about contracting too, though, is like with the tree trimming. You gotta find contractors for that.
Yeah,
Consumers Power's got, or Consumers Energy, I might say, has got about everybody that can cut a tree, contracted.
like this project with the Bun Road thing, I have no idea, you know, what needs to be done, I'm not familiar with that area. But you know, he is right that some of this stuff, you know, we run out of time and we can't get to it on a timely basis,
That's correct.
so.
And that's about prioritizing these contracts too, cause you have those asterisks on contracts. Looks like there were several contracts came in for ditching and deburming. You know, we gotta get our other stuff taken care of too, and there's that balancing act, and I don't know what it is, but it,
And a lot of those, we gotta narrow it down sometimes with the actual townships to where, like, I use Litchfield for an example. They want, you know, the traditional ditch and berm, and they want the full
full
line.
road like,
Yeah,
Trees, everything.
rebuilding.
That takes a lot of time and money.
A lot.
If we can go through and just knock the berm off, we can do a lot with that. But we've still gotta estimate if they want that entire thing done. And hopefully we can come in well less than that if all we have to do is deburn, or a little bit of ditch here or there to get the water to flow. But
I've had a lot of farmers contact me. Of course, machinery has gotten bigger, going down the roads, and the trees, limbs are getting into the cabs of the combines. They wanna know what we're gonna do about the canopy.
they can call and we'll put them on. We have a service request,
Tree,
you know, with
option.
all the different trees people call in, all the brush, you know, that needs to get mowed and, you know, and we whittle them away as best we can, you know. At some point, we do have a little bit of money, and then a tree contractor and a grass mower, you know, for the first cut, would be a good one to let them do that, let our guys work on these little sections of Bun Road or little sections of berm, you know, but it's like Commissioner Schmidt said, it's a balancing between, do you got the money or do you use the people? Yeah.
so my question on that farm machinery, what are we required to to make clear? Cause, you know, combines and these, sprayers, aren't they taller and bigger than like what a semi truck would be?
Yeah, they're whiter.
Well, wide's not probably the issue, cause they could take up the whole road. I guess because when it's talking trees, I thought it was height, not width.
It's usually
that was the
canopy
issue.
that, there's every once in a while, there's a close tree on the side, but it's usually canopy that is an issue. And like we did Genesee Road, we did the canopy there, and went to some points where it's like 70 foot up there to where the trees are, but they still want more.
So my question on that, cause you mentioned that to me, and I thought about that. And I was like, well, wait a minute, that tree grows to the ground, you can cut it at the ground, you don't have to be 70 foot in the air to cut the tree. So what's your comment? Well, what difference does it make if it's a 70-foot high canopy?
Section it off. don't
You
Well-
cut the bottom of the tree, not the top of the tree
No,
necessarily.
you
No.
cut the top and work your way down.
Safer.
It's safer.
Okay,
When you start falling trees, in Jackson, for example, we stopped felling trees.
okay,
We've had 2 people killed.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
do not fall trees anymore.
okay,
They'll cut them down like that, or we'll hire a contractor to fall.
okay. That's why that 70-foot made, okay, alright.
It's hard to
So,
control.
normally, we
I
wouldn't
get
go
it.
that high.
And you can't cut a tree because of the Indiana bat.
There, certain times of the year, it's Indiana bat, certain
You
times of
can,
the
you
year.
can trim, but you can't.
Like right now, we're into, Monday, we'll be into oak wood. So now we can't trim or cut oaks unless you seal the wound. And that's a whole nother nightmare, so.
Nightmare.
But I guess what I'm saying is normally, we would trim something up to 25, 30 foot. That will let most things go through.
Okay.
Now, for whatever reason, they really want to go to daylight, as you know, right straight up the right of ways, and ideally, great, because that lets the road dry out a little bit better, lets the sun in, that's the purpose of it. we don't even have equipment that can go that high, you know, and be cutting it out. I don't think we need to go that high, especially on gravel roads. So, that's just one of those battles we've gotta fight with. You know, come to a good agreement with the township. And, but for the most part, if you got 30 foot,
Yeah, most things will get through 30 foot.
Now, I've had farmers call me that say, hey, can we trim it? I said, no, you can't do it, but if you have to go through the combine. So they put planks on top of their hopper on the combine and they trim those trees. They said, my combine's
I'm
$1
not
million.
gonna tell them
I'm
yes,
not gonna.
but I'm not gonna yell at them.
Oh,
Right.
that's the way it me, I just said,
Right.
you didn't hear this from me,
Right.
Yeah,
and
we will look the other way.
they, but,
But they've gotta be very careful on leaving things in the road, dropping
Yes.
things.
yep,
You know,
and all of them's been pretty good.
I'm sure they are, and most of them are. They just wanna get their stuff through. And
Yeah, and not get damaged, that's the thing.
so, can we hire some contractors to do tree work? Sure. We just have to have a budget. And I think this year, probably not, cause all these trucks are coming due.
Yeah.
So this year, I think is pretty much locked up tight.
Mhm.
After that, if we wanna start looking at, you know, putting out bids and contracting, and cause there's a few that'll come around the bill. That's a good way to get some of that done, especially the canopy.
So the trucks weren't supposed to, it's nice that they're coming, but it was supposed to be,
Yeah.
we were
Right.
told a different time frame, and
Yeah.
now things are
They were
happening
ordered in
faster.
3 different years,
Right.
but they're all coming in together.
Well, at one point in time, it looked like before we ordered the last batch of trucks, that it was gonna be 1.5 or 2 years before we saw
Yeah,
those last 4.
because of the
Well,
distributor.
and by the time we get them, it's still gonna be a year from that time.
By the time we have to pay them.
Well, and that's probably a good thing, because if they all came this year, we would have a problem.
And
Well, that's what I'm saying, they're gonna
come
come all this year.
That's the thing,
Well,
that's,
but if need be, can we say to the last 2 that come, you'll just have to wait till the first of the year to get some.
If you were the vendor, would you wanna push off $1 million to tomorrow, next year?
no.
We'll be okay, because it was budgeted for, but the budget was for the entire year. And so we're still getting money coming in, and we might have to pay it here, and it might run us low, but we'll get that budgeted money
Back up.
back, you know, in, but,
Cash flow issue.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. strictly.
Well, we can do $1 down, the rest when the catch this can.
They count on that. I think we're getting ready to pay the last 2 payments for the lease agreement for those 2
Nice.
trucks,
Yeah,
which is, no, that's on the lease agreement for 6
It's not
months.
on the rest of
And
the.
for about 2 months ahead, so we'll have about 2 months grace period there before we have to actually buy those 2 trucks
Do the
out.
balance.
yeah, then we'll have to pay what the remaining balance on those.
Right.
And right after, good chance right after that, the 2 that are truck and trailer are going to be
They
done.
could show up.
And then the other 2,
What comes from the
the
manufacturer.
manufacturer, 2
Two
truck and
truck
trailer, but then we have to pay the manufacturer.
Manufacturer for the chassis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So this year's gonna be tight, but we will wind up with 7 brand new trucks. Basically in 1 year.
Which is good, because the fleet's getting old.
And I was just talking to Kevin this morning about it, and we did not have any spare trucks. Actually, we didn't have enough trucks for the drivers, the way it was. Now this will at least give us trucks for the drivers and 1 or 2 spares. Still not much.
I do have a question. I saw the posting for temporary help, summer help. Can you explain that? I guess I didn't. I missed the memo.
we do
we
mowers.
I know there wasn't a memo, but
We always hire seasonal.
so it's the mowers. It's
Mowers,
It's the
Mowers,
mowers, it's the
flaggers.
pothole patcher, if they
Sign
need them
people.
flagged in.
Like,
Okay. Are we hiring more this year than last year? Are we-
Well,
They don't
probably.
apply, that was our issue last year, not many people applied.
Okay.
I think we had 4 last year, I'd like to get at least 6,
Mhm.
6 to 8 this year, but
It just depends.
so
And then,
what are we paying? What are we advertising?
$16 an hour.
um,
we're competing with McDonald's.
Literally.
Do we give
And they
free
have to be
food?
18 or above.
Yeah, that would be
So we're-
18 or
Has a
above
background
with a
drug test.
driver's license and.
So we're not competing with McDonald's if we don't either provide free food or a discounted meal.
That's the thing, people are like, well, I can get a job at McDonald's doing this.
Flagger mowers and what?
Co-patchers.
Co-patchers.
So they will
This
have to do all
labeled
three.
as laborers.
Yeah.
So
it's
anything-
really-
But that, if I mention at my township meeting, that's what I'm gonna say. Although by the time I go back out, I think I already had them, well, I got Moscow tonight, but, so other than that, I'm gonna be months down the road.
If
We
we
had to
hire,
post it twice last year, 2 different times, cause we didn't have enough, so that would be fine.
if we hire mower people, make sure they know where the lot line is.
But more people, there's not gonna be a fine definition, you're not just gonna be mowers, you're not just gonna be.
Okay,
Oh, you're gonna
You're
make
gonna
it
cycle.
cover everything.
Mhm.
And in the past, there's been a couple of them that, oh, that's all I do, and,
I'm not
no, you
doing
need
nothing
to do what we ask you to do.
What about washing windows
It could be anything, it's labor, you know.
Okay.
Could be mowing the yard here, you know, we gotta still take care of our facilities.
and, yeah.
So.
Well, that makes it a little varied.
Next year, I might apply for a mowing job, but I want Reading Township.
You do or don't?
I do.
Oh,
Well, we'll let you start there.
Okay.
Well, we know one thing,
Sound like road.
he wouldn't escape to Indiana or Ohio if he just did Reading
You
Township.
should know where the border is.
Yeah.
we might wanna check on that.
He might get into Branch County, but.
I got a map.
Okay, public comment? Yeah,
I spent a lot of time down in Waldron this last week, and I'm gonna be terrible with roads, but I did notice a road, I think it was Camden Road, where the trees were trimmed on both sides with a machine that chops them all up real good. I don't recall you guys ever doing that in Reading Township. Was this,
Haven't got there.
okay, and I did come across the tractor at one of your little garages out there. So I seen it and I was wondering, we don't contract that, that's just
No,
something.
that's our guys, and that's some of the seasonal.
Okay, and the other thing I just wanna mention is I've been wanting to go over that Kucher Road. So I went up the west side of Lake Diane, and then Sampson, where it curves around to Woodbridge. I remember years ago, you guys, or somebody went in there and put in millings on that road, and it's quite thick, but man, that road is nice right now. So, I'm just saying, that was millings.
Yes, and it will be for a while. But once it starts chuckling up, there's nothing you can do with it except for try to crush it.
Okay.
Those will lock right back up just like asphalt.
What was the
And
issue?
for a while,
What was the issue on Kershaw Road?
Well, there was, for one thing, there was no base, and you've got primarily Amish that live on the road. And with feed trucks and semi-livestock trucks in the spring of the year, you know, it was like a swamp. almost.
Pretty muddy.
I guess that was like a mud hole, the
Yeah.
entire length of it.
1 mile of it.
Okay,
But as far as the brush cutting, that should be, hopefully that's on a cycle now, where every quarter, every year we'll do a quarter, and every 4th year, you should see those coming around to your neck of the woods.
okay.
It's on the branch, but we'll see.
You should see a lot right now in the southeast corner of the county.
And we have.
And then next year, they're planning to go to the northeast, and then just keep going.
Okay,
Yeah, there's some brush down there at one pretty busy intersection of Squawfield and Waldron Road. that I've been trying to get trimmed since I started in 2021, and they got it done within the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Right on time.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Doug, did you have something?
I do, yes. If a citizen has a tree that they observe that needs, in their opinion, to be trimmed, you mentioned a form on a website.
If they could call the the office to do a service request, and then we do have a tree form, but you have, for tree forms
That's
on
owner,
your
and it's a dead tree, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
So you
You
want,
can't call in and have a tree cut on my property just because you don't like it.
right, so, I can't,
No.
okay, so, the process is what I'm asking,
when you're not the owner,
Yes.
to call the office and do a
Do a
service request.
service request,
Yes.
thank you.
And if you wanna cut a tree on your own property,
There's
you
a
gotta
form.
come and get
That's the
permit.
tree form and
For
we're giving
us
a tree
to-
That's
form.
how I was reading it,
For
but
yourself.
For us, for yourself, that's.
Same
another-
thing, I mean,
So
we would do a permit to work in the right of way for the individual to
Okay.
do it, and the tree form is if they want us to do it, that tells us, one, that they want the tree cut down, what to do with the wood, you know, all that kind of stuff on
You
that
gotta
form.
show liability insurance too.
On the permit for working in the right of way.
Does the county have to notify the homeowner if they're gonna be cutting the tree down?
We normally do, that's what that's what the tree form's for. If we're cutting a tree down, we're gonna contact that property owner.
Cause a few years ago, I
if
had
they
an apple
supply
tree,
the tree form.
it was about that big around, I could one more day, and it was cut up,
Yeah,
it was gone.
They shouldn't have.
I had no clue it was gonna be done.
Technically, we
Left
can.
me a little
Should
long,
they?
about 6 foot long, and the rest of it was gone.
Yeah.
Must be their truck was full. And it was a nice tree, it produced a lot of apples. But
Like I
it's
said,
in the right
technically,
of
if it's in the right of way, we can take care of it if we consider it a safety
way.
issue.
The stump's still there, it's on Huff Road.
Okay.
Just west of Cody Road.
But normally, we shouldn't be out there cutting trees unless we got that tree form from the property owner. And it tells, like I said, it tells us, do you want the wood left there? Do you want it? Do you want us to haul it off? You know, all that's on
And
that
no one
form.
said to me, I didn't say anything about it, I didn't make any complaints or anything, it was kind of a bummer, I should come home one day,
Yeah.
and there it is, gone.
I like maple trees.
Anybody else? Anybody on the board got anything?
I'd move to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion